How do you do, y'all? Tables here. I wanted to do a quick update on the build. Let's get a T16 map to kind of work on while we while we get this thing situated. This is just gonna be. I don't even have any chisels at the moment, but we can at least get something simple together. This is just gonna be a base map, no crazy stuff. Just maybe like a beast or something. We'll see where we land. I do want to talk about a couple of things. We did get our stuff 6-linked. We got our staff with 6-linked. I'm waiting on a new harvest craft for the enchantment. Hopefully we can get one that does elemental damage. But I just haven't been able to find one. This weapon range one was the latest one that I found. We still need to upgrade our gloves because we can definitely get better gloves. We need to get our boots. I'm thinking about doing some corrupting on the Comb's Heart. We need to get a new helmet, and we need to do some upgrading. And like when I say upgrade, I mean like minimal. Like we're talking like we're getting into the min and the max here. But it's still worth doing, right? Like there's still improvements to be made. We'll do a little bit of a POB situation after the map. But so far, now that I've 6-linked everything, I mean, the build just feels so much better, right? We're talking, seriously more damage overall. And we added in Flame Surge as well, which kinda is okay. I don't know. It's really good on bosses that stand still, obviously, but it definitely is a little rough on anything that moves, fairly consistently. So it definitely has its pros and its cons. Well, really just pros. There really is no con. If they're moving, just don't use it. Like it's not hard to understand.
I'm up.
But if you look at like for the most part how I play very defensively, and we still do fantastic damage. We don't take a ton of damage. The only reason I'm taking a ton of damage in this one is simply because I'm not ailment immune, and every single hit ignites. But a quick hit of our enduring cry, and that pretty much solves that issue straight out. We're still working through some mana issues. Buddy, a friend of mine in my Discord talking about maybe using Clarity, but with 100%, or excuse me, with 160 some odd mana, I plugged in Clarity, and it just doesn't. Oh shit! It just doesn't do what I want it to do. We lose too much mana, and yeah, we gain regen, but I think when we look for new rings, because at this point I'm not going to get a flammability ring, I'm just going to keep it on the hex touch situation, and that way we can have a little bit more flexibility on our whole ring setup. And so I think we'll just try and find some mana reservation, because I feel like I don't need much more reservation. I just need, just like a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. And so I think, given that, I think that'll help us out quite a bit. We did upgrade pretty much all of our notable jewels to get their quality, and now we are leveling them up to get them to level 21. We got our awakened gems as well, at least the cheap ones like deadly ailment and burning damage, and we are leveling those up right now. I think I'm like a quarter of the way leveled up on our awakened gems at the moment, so it's a whole ass process. You know how it is. Those gems take forever to level up. We ended up going with an anomalous Flame Surge to get the chance to Scorch, and it's only 10%, but I mean, damage is damage. It works it should do the job just fine. So as you can see, like I'm not doing like terrible. That's just with like 1 to 2 brands overall. Like we're doing really solid DPS, and it's really easy to move around. Is it the fastest build? Not even by a long shot. Is it the fastest build I've ever played, or the fastest build just in general? That might be a turnoff to people, but for me personally, I really like it. I've never needed to have the fastest build and zoom here and zoom there like that. I mean, it's important, don't get me wrong, but for me, it's not everything, right? Let's see. Oh, ow! You guys have to excuse me. I tend to freak out a lot when I play video games. Ow! Ow. Little T16 metamorph action worked out fairly decent. To make side currency, I've actually been rolling like high-level granites and high-level diamond flasks with charges on like essentially this right here. Tier 1 rolls for on hit, charge regen, and increased armor effect, or chance to crit effect, like increased effect. And I've been selling those like fairly reliably for 40 or 70 chaos. So it's just something that I've been interested in, and it's actually made me a few EX this league, just kind of doing it on the side, All right, let's do this. See how this fares. I will say that I'm glad that we took the recoup nodes, because to be honest, the recoup nodes have felt amazing. They have felt fantastic. They really, especially with glancing blows, it's really helped to smooth kind of the damage curve out. Now, chill is one of our worst. Like, it's one of the things that gets me killed the most, chill. So I am debating. We are level 90 now, by the way. I'm debating going Anointed Flesh and then Corrupted Blood, or Chaos Resistance with Corrupted Blood. It's going to be either one of these. I just haven't decided which one I want to get. But I think it's probably going to end up being Chaos, because our Chaos res is just awful. Just awful. And we have a really hard time with just Chaos anything in general, right? As you can see, I'm getting absolutely destroyed here. And so that's one of the things that I would like to fix in the build. I don't know if it's going to be fixable with the amount of uniques that I have, but it might be possible with enough currency. We'll just kind of have to wait. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Let's pick this up. I'm kind of obsessed with like picking up rings and necklaces. I don't know why, I just am. I don't know how long this map took. I'm sure it was probably around 5 minutes, I guess. So for me, that's fairly decently fast. I'm fairly happy with that. Like I said, I don't need to go zoom fast. And I'm not doing the league mechanic because for me personally, it's very rippy, and because I have to sit there and I have to wait for my activation frequency to hit, and then the Armageddon band drops, then the ignite starts, then the Prolif starts, and I don't know, it doesn't feel great in this mechanic personally. If I were to do it, I would do it on like a tier 14. I have much better luck on tier 14s than I do tier 16s. Though when I'm doing map content, I generally don't do things on tier 16. I'm only doing this on tier 16 to show you guys kind of, like what's up. And I may end up dying here because there's going to be a ton of mobs, and some of them are chaos, just like that. And everything ignites, and everything absolutely fucking hurts. Holy shit! We can just cut that out. Okay, so that is the tier 16 map. Pretty simple. We didn't have too much issue. Even that one was harder than some of the other ones that I've done, just because of the fact that everything ignites. There are some mods we don't run. We don't run Cannot regenerate mana life energy shield. I don't fuck with that ever. Even 60%, I really just don't like doing. It just makes things a lot more difficult than they really need to be. So I generally roll those off. Everything else, I pretty much do. I would be weary of anything with like that's like heavy crit. I would definitely play it a little bit slower and play to your strengths, having a brand. But other than that, I mean, we can pretty much do everything, and that's part of the reason why I went with Bastion of Elements over Shaper of Storms. Even though obviously Shaper of Storms is going to get you more damage, I really, really, really like Bastion of Elements a lot. So if I had a choice, I would always tell people to go that route. Okay, so yeah, we're 6 lane. Let's look at the POB real quick, and this is our current our current setup at the moment, right? So this is not the POB that I made. This is what we're getting into right now. We did add some things. We got a Watcher's Eye with Malevolence and Determination. Our ignite duration is pretty long, actually, and I think that's partly due to the fact that we are using where's it at? Efficacy alongside swift deflection, so I guess they end up kind of like canceling each other out for the most part. And even with we have like what 30 some odd percent faster ailment damage. I think maybe even higher than that, and we're still at 2.4. Well, maybe we don't. Maybe it's a little bit less than that actually. Yeah, it is less than that. But regardless, 2.4. So you're not gonna have an issue like with your ignites running out. Like I've seen on other builds, maybe like a hit build where your ignite duration is like I don't know, like 0.7, 0.5, and so you'd have to take a duration node because of your activation frequency. But that's not something you really have to worry about with this build. We got a fucking rockin' Cobalt Jewel with damage over time, increased fire damage multiplier, plus fire damage, and pretty much a throwaway mod. If I had a Jewel that was just like this, but it didn't have life, and if it had life, then I would never have any money issues for the rest of the league because that's like a 30 or no, a 15 Exalt Jewel. So we did add our. Actually, I haven't updated it since we put in the Flame Surge, but it is in there. This is our final tree, our final level 90 tree. We got the minus extra 5% on the exposure. We got our 20 dot multiplier. So we got a lot of really good stuff. Fairly tanky, not the tankiest, but it still does work. Like I mean, well, unless it's like some crazy mod, like if I can like minus like getting ignited like on every hit, that one's kind of annoying. I have to play a little bit differently. But for the most part, I can just kind of zoom through and we just kind of do work, right? And everything just dies. So I'm at a point where I have enough armor, and stuff like that that we're fairly survivable. We're fairly tanky. Excuse me, tanky. I obviously I cannot speak. Upgrade pass, Tailwind boots, Hunter influence. Probably going to end up going Crusader, though I would rather go like a pure armor base. But getting 4 blue on a pure armor base is going to be kind of tough. But ideally, I would like to have Tailwind. But I mean, honestly, Onslaught will work just fine. It's like I don't think it's a huge deal. As long as it has the ignites you inflict deal, however high it goes, I think it's like up to 10%. So that's going to be one of our big upgrades. We got another 7 dot multiplier that we can get here. We can also dip on the 15% increased duration of elements because that's not necessarily helping us right now. We really don't need duration per se. We really just want the ignites to deal as fast as humanly possible. Right. This is just a base level necklace. It's not anything crazy or exciting. Ideally, you would maybe do like, I mean, really what I want is a fire damage damage over time with a +1 to all fire skill gems. But that one is a little bit down the road. We still have some more currency to make. Our damage 480 Cyrus. We have about almost 500k Cyrus, and we are looking at about 800,000 just straight map DPS. And so yeah, pretty damn happy. About 579. We did pretty decent damage on that tier 16 boss. So anyways, the build is looking really solid. We still got some stuff that needs to happen, and I'll keep you guys updated. At this point, we're just kind of going through the motions. We're getting our Atlas complete. I have yet to do Sirius because I just want to make sure that I'm like really properly prepared. We are getting our Maven invitations and stuff done. So I do have the Twisted. I would like to get all 4 of them and get those under my belt and get videos on them before we make the essentially the full-on guide, and obviously kill Cyrus and what have you and whatnot, and we'll just kind of go from there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of journey that I've taken with this build and all the different updates. I'll leave the current POB in the video tonight. And that's it. You guys have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you very soon. Video this weekend. Hopefully we'll have made a lot more progress. We'll get all of our gems 21. Hopefully our Armageddon brand is already 21. But kind of like max everything out more or less. And we'll go from there. Y'all be good, all right? Talk to you soon. Goodbye.